What's up YouTube? My name is Jags, and today we are continuing our series WTF is After Effects, and we're talking about the timeline, the guy right down there where you're going to be doing most of your work. So let's dive right into a specific part of that and talk about it. So in the timeline, that's where you're going to be working most of the time with any properties that you're going to need to change: scale, rotation, position, etc., effects. There's lots of things. So how do we navigate this? Well, if we look at this little arrow right here, we can click that and it will say, hey, there's things in here. I'm using a shape layer right now, and within that shape layer there are contents, and in those contents we have a rectangle. So if we select this shape, we can see it's the one on the far right, and then within that we have our rectangle path. We can go in there and we can adjust the size if we want to. I just unlinked the size, the X and Y, so that if I wanted to just make it wider, I can. Let's just undo that and undo that. So now it's just a square, and I can bring it up and down, whatever else. I have a stroke effect here within the contents of that shape layer, so then I can go into that stroke and then make it less opacity or increase the width, or lots of different features there that I can play with. Let's just bring that back down to 0. I have a fill as well, so if I were to turn off that fill, and you know what, let's bring back that stroke. You can navigate to the stroke by just going up here, and then hey, now we have a square. So that's for shape layers. And then another thing that you have is your transform properties. So the transform properties is where you're going to adjust the scale, the opacity, the position, the anchor point of a layer at its within its dimensions, basically. So you'll see here I have some keyframes, and the keyframe is just a scale up and scale down, and it's just going back and forth and back and forth. And to add a keyframe, all you have to do is hit the stopwatch, and it will either turn off or turn it on to add a keyframe. Let's just undo that, or you can hit this button, and then as you navigate through your timeline, if let's say at like frame 1 second and 12 frames, I wanted this to be like scale 1000. So if you just hover your playhead over a specific point in time, and you have that property selected, and you change the value, it will set the scale to 1000. So now if we scroll out, hey, it's really big, but now we have a new keyframe, and it's gonna be this weird, funky boop, boop. But we don't need to do that. So that's how you navigate through your shape layers, so to speak. If you ever need to reveal your keyframes on a layer, you can hit U on your keyboard, and it will show you whatever keyframes exist on a layer, or you could select multiple layers. One other thing you can do is if you tap UU on your keyboard, it will reveal every single property that you have changed on that layer. Now, if you have some effects or contents within that layer that are at the default properties, let's say the very center of a composition, or you add an effect and you don't change any of the properties, it won't reveal those properties. So UU will reveal anything that is changed. All right, so let's hit U to hide all of that. Let's go down to the next layer. We will hit this little drop down menu to fit back to screen. Now with this chocolate chip cookie clip that I have here, I have a mask on it, and this mask is revealed in the drop down menu just by going there, and we can see that it's a circle mask. We can lock it if we need to, so I won't change it, and then we could maybe add some feather to it if we want, or decrease the expansion of it. Lots of things that you can do with masks, or you could just get rid of it, and hey, there's the video footage as is. Now I also have an effect on this layer, and that is a lumetri color. So if we go to our effect controls over here, we can see that we have my color correction preset, and I can just turn that off, turn that on up here, or turn it off, turn it on over here, and I can just go in here and reveal all the properties that I might need. So I have the curves, and curves is a little weird for this effect, so I'd have to actually go up into my effect controls up here and play with that if I wanted to. But yeah, there's your drop down menu to get to your effects. You can also go to your effects and presets and then add effects. So let's wait for my effects and presets to load because I have quite a lot. There we go, auto save. Let's just add a glow, make it glow. Just add a normal glow. We don't need to get too fancy. And then, oh, that looks like gross, but you get the idea. And then if we go into our effects, we can see our glow right here. So let's delete that glow, we don't need that. And then we have this final shape layer down here, and this is just a shape layer, a square, once again. And we have some content in here. We have a rectangle, nothing too fancy. It's identical to the square on the right, but what we did is we added something to the rotation. So if we navigate down to our rotation property, we can see that it's red. And the reason why it's red instead of the blue is because there's an expression on it. It's like code that you would have on a property in After Effects to do fun things. So right now I just have it doing a very simple expression. So for every point in time, it's going to multiply that by 20 to the rotation. So if I go down to 1 second, the rotation is going to be 20. Does that make sense? So if it's time times 20, and 1 times 20 is 20, then it's going to be a rotation of 20. Now if I go down to 2, it should be 40. There you go, right down there. If I go to 3, it's at 60.1 for some weird funky reason, but that's what it is. And to get to an expression, all you have to do is select a property and then alt click on the stopwatch, and hey, look, our expression is gone because I had one there. But if I alt click once again, there's the expression, and it'll bring up this window. I can type time times 20. Let's just say 40, make it a little faster. And then there we go, 1 second, 40 for the rotation. So yeah, there's the drop down menu, and there's me eating a cookie. I hope you learned something from this one. Alright, that's today's quick tip. I hope you learned something. If you did, let me know in the comment section down below. Like if you learned something, and if you need more help, feel free to hit me up on Instagram. Again, my name is John Jags. I appreciate you taking time out of your day to watch my face because you're not getting it back, so I hope it was worth it. And I will leave you with this. Eat 1 gram of protein per pound of body weight. You will make some gains, I promise. Alright, goodbye. Goodbye. Where's my lens cap? Bye. Put the place up.